Howdy, folks. I'm everyone's favorite famous fig, Lucille.
I'm Amber.
And here's some fig Newtons? No, that's a little more... I don't know. That's just wrong, Brian. Just wrong. Alright, folks. Our first letter is titled, Am I the jerk for invading someone's personal space? That's right, we've got a space invader, folks. Not serious or life-altering situation. For context, I'm a 33-year-old female, and I live in the UK. And we have a quiet section on trains, and I booked my ticket specifically so I could do work on a table in the quiet room on my laptop. My friend Leah, a 34-year-old female, sat opposite of me. A man in his 40s or 50s was sat next to me, and about 15 minutes into the journey, he starts watching Friends out loud on his iPad. I put my headphones in, but it was loud enough that I could still hear it. My friends and the person sat next to her were just giving him dirty looks, but he was oblivious and munching away on his sandwich. So I said, "Excuse me, would you mind turning that down just a bit, please?" He said no. Literally one word, no. Then I mentioned that this was the quiet section of the train, and he laughed at me and said, "What are you gonna do, tell on me?" It was so bizarre and annoying, but my friend just gestured for me to stay calm and leave it. So I closed my laptop and I started watching with him, and commenting, "Oh, I love this bit. Watch the next part, it's so funny. Oh, is this the one where X happens? I'm not a massive Friends fan, but I know enough to get by." He didn't respond. He just kept giving me irritated looks, but I kept going. He moved the iPad from the table to his lap without turning the volume any lower at any point, so I just carried on peering over his shoulder and commenting. He finally slammed his iPad case shut, grabbed his backpack, and walked off, presumably to find another seat on the train. I opened up my laptop and I carried on working. After we got off, Leah said that I should have just left it and not reacted to him. But it was a 4-hour journey and I had a lot to do. I paid extra to get a table seat. That too in a quiet section. She said that I could have offered him my headphones. Maybe if they were over the ear, but they're in ear, and he's a stranger, so no. She said that I was kind of invading his personal space. I didn't touch him or move from the confines of my seat at any point. And she was like, "No, but watching someone's iPad is a jerk move. We're not in a fight, just lighthearted debate on whether or not I'm the jerk for how I went about it." Alright, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
No, I don't think Opie's the jerk here. I mean, this guy was clearly violating the quiet space. You need quiet to work. You paid extra for this. Like, Opie did all her due diligence. She asked him, "Hey, can you turn this down?" And he's like, "What are you gonna do? Tell on me?" Like, clearly thinking like...
I would have just pressed the assistance button and gotten him kicked out of the quiet section, to be quite honest.
Exactly. I would have just been like, "Brian, get this guy kicked out."
If you were in the quiet section of a train, you know what you're doing is wrong. He had no doubt in his mind, I'm sure, because he wouldn't have said, "Are you going to tell on me?" if he knew that this was not wrong of him. This was an intimidation factor, and other people haven't challenged him on it. And so now he's just went and been a pest for 4 hours to some other poor group of people. I don't think that OP's in the wrong at all, mind you. I think the friend needs to reevaluate why they are saying this to their friend, right?
Right, like I understand being non-confrontational, but nothing OP did was bad or harmful in any way.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not always the best course of action to just let people slide, because this guy is an entitled jerk. He's going to do these kind of things in other situations too, and he directly impacted OP's ability to do her work.
Yeah. And then I can see it from the friend's perspective a little bit, that she may have been afraid that he might lash out or get angry or be violent. And that might be a scary situation. Maybe she's had a situation in the past where she's felt threatened by someone. But that still doesn't mean that you act like a doormat, right?
Right, and they're on a train where there are people who can help if things get out of hand. So it's not like they're in like a back alley or something.
Yeah, exactly. So it was a relatively safe, confined environment. So no, OP, I don't think you're in the wrong. But let me know what you folks think. Anyhow, take care and good luck. And Garamon7 says, not the jerk. He wanted friends, and he got a friend. And OP replies, this made me laugh out loud. And Just Real Stuff says, not the jerk, and Leah needs to stop being such a doormat. I do wish the guards would enforce the quiet zones, but the jerkish reaction of that guy that you encountered does make me realize why they don't want to get involved. Their job is already bad enough. And OP replies, Leah is a bit of a pushover. At the point, she was like, you could have given your headphones. I was like, babe, you're having a laugh. And 100% knew involving a guard would just escalate the situation, and also made me feel really childish and snitchy after his comment.
Well, that's kind of his goal, though, is to make you feel like a child and like a snitch. So, I mean, I don't think what OP did is wrong, but again, I don't think there's anything wrong with getting other people involved, too, since it is part of their responsibility.
Yeah, it's their job. That's what they're there for. All right, folks, our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for asking my fiance not to wear his brother's necklace on our wedding day? Note that me and my fiance get along really well with everything else, but we've just had a disagreement with this. He wears his late brother's wedding ring on his right hand and his brother's necklace. I can get behind the ring because you really don't notice it much, but the necklace is more visible. It has his brother's and his brother's wife and his daughter's initials engraved on it. I asked him if he would take it off just for our wedding day. I also have a necklace I got as a gift from my mom that I'm not wearing on that day because it doesn't go with my dress. It's just one day, and he can wear the ring if he wants. My fiance refused and said it's his brother and he's going to wear it. All right, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Yeah, I think OP's being a jerk. This necklace is very important to him, and he doesn't get to have his brother physically present at the wedding, so it's like a nice little memento.
Yeah, I think there's a difference between getting a necklace from your mom who's going to be there at the wedding, and if your mom is still alive, right? And getting a necklace that means a lot and is a memento and is a way for your siblings to be present at the wedding. It's a memento, right? So I mean, I'm not the judge. I'm not sure if she's saying that her mom is alive or not, so that one is a little bit difficult to judge, but it's one of those things where he wants the support and he wants at least the kind of spirit of them being there.
And you're allowed to have your aesthetic preferences. So if you don't want to wear your wedding on your necklace day, your necklace on your wedding day, I think I said that backwards, then like that's all well and good, but you cannot force your partner's hand here, and you shouldn't. Like, again, it's just a nice little way. A lot of people will have like jewelry from family members who have passed on as a way to incorporate them into the wedding. And I think it's a really nice and sentimental thing. And you shouldn't be so worried about optics that you're trying to make him get rid of this memento.
Yeah, exactly. Let me know what you folks think. Anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, it is coffee time.
I still have tea.
Amber has tea. I have coffee. And June asked me the other day what kind of coffee I take, and I take black coffee. My coffee is very unexciting, but it's exciting to me.
Maxwell House coffee.
Good to the last drop. And Amber's got a joke.
Why couldn't the astronaut book a hotel on the moon?
Well, it's actually kind of tragic. You see, the astronaut originally was planning on booking a nice vacation to the moon, and everything was all set up, and they had their original tickets booked, but then they had to cancel them last minute for this last trip that they had made, but this time they weren't going to cancel it. But then one day an asteroid came along and slammed straight into the moon, and it destroyed the moon hotel. It's pretty horrific. It's a tragedy. And that's why he couldn't book a hotel room anymore for the moon, because it was in no state to be vacation to.
Because the moon was full.
Well, I mean, I guess so. And I have coffee, like I said. And apparently a morbid sense of humor. Oh, and don't worry. Everyone was taking a vacation that day that the asteroid slammed in, so there were no casualties on the moon. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks so much for watching. Happy Sunday. Amber, Do we have any moral for the story today?
I think I'm going to go with story 2, and I think the moral here is that if people have sentimental items, memories are more important than aesthetics.
Mm-hmm. And I think I actually have a really good one that goes well with both. Well, maybe the first one. No. Maybe the second one. No. Maybe it's just the joke. Don't put babies in space. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you all tomorrow.
Bye.